Good day, and welcome to today's webinar, Celebrating Women in Medicine Month. This webinar is hosted by the International Relations Committee and the Women in Surgery Committee at the American College of Surgeons. My name is Jessie Von Custer. I'm the Program Administrator for the IRC. Before we get started, I wanted to inform everyone that this webinar will be recorded and will be available on the ACS YouTube page after the webinar. Additionally, if you have any questions during the webinar, you may submit them through the Q&A box, as there will be an audience Q&A portion at the end of the webinar. With that, I'm happy to introduce you to today's moderator, Dr. Fernanda Lage Lima Dantas. Dr. Lage was born and raised in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. In 2005, Dr. Lage began her work as the only pediatric surgeon in Brazilian Western Amazonia. She is a professor of surgery and is one of the founders of a local medical school, the Federal University of Acre. Additionally, she's the founding member of the Committee of Women in Surgery at the Brazilian College of Surgeons. In 2018, she was awarded the ACS Community Surgeon Travel Award and is currently participating in the leadership of the ACS Brazil chapter and is currently the chair of the IRC's Women in International Surgery Subcommittee. With that, I will now turn it over to Dr. Lage.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us today's webinar, Celebrating Women in Medicine Month. It is such a pleasure to be here today presenting this webinar. Today's objectives are to honor our pioneers from the past, promote the importance of our current women surgeons who are making a difference in their settings by promoting the art of surgery and education with mastery, and inspire the new generation, showing that surgery is a rewarding and exciting career if their heart asks for it. Today, we will hear from our panelists as they share their stories about how they got started and what they look forward to in the future. So it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Maheshwari Shentil. Dr. Shentil is an internationally recognized surgeon scientist who specializes in the management of patients with peritoneal carcinomatosis. Dr. Shentil completed her medical degree in Madras Medical College, India. She is the chief of the Division of Surgical Oncology and the vice chair of research in the Department of Surgery at the University of California, Irvine. She is the founding program director of Surgical Oncology Fellowships, both at Loma Linda University and UCA. Dr. Shentil is an NIH-funded scientist and the principal investigator of EA 2234 Stopgap 2, a national randomized phase 2 to 3 clinical trial of bidirectional paclitaxel in patients with gastric carcinomatosis. It's a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Shentil.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Now I welcome Dr. Oksana Popova. Dr. Popova is a distinguished surgeon from Dnipro, Ukraine, with specializations in surgery, ultrasound diagnostics, and healthcare management. She is the founder and director of the NGO Elin Training Center. During the war in Ukraine, she developed the innovative point-of-care ultrasound protocols FAST-U and Trident. These protocols have been recognized in Ukraine and abroad for their role in significantly reducing trauma-related mortality and disability among the wounded. Her dedication to research and clinical excellence has been honored with the Colonel Dave C. Burris Award for Excellence in Trauma and Surgical Critical Care Research and the recognition of excellence by SAIDS. Welcome, Dr. Popova. It's an honor to have you here with us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here today.
And so with that, I will ask our questions and our talk. Let's talk a little bit about the role of women in surgery in our setting. So I would ask you, the first question is, why did you want to become a surgeon? What's the call of your heart?
Uh,
Can be free to answer, Dr. Popova, Dr. Shantil, please.
okay, I will start. When I was 12, my father died because an undiagnosed ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm. It happened in Nikopol, a small town near of Dnipro. I asked the doctor if he could have been saved, and he said yes, if their hospital had had a vascular surgeon. So I said I would become a vascular surgeon, and I had to practice a vascular surgeon now for 5 years. But if we will look a little bit deeper, then just a family story. I have always been drawn to be profound responsibility and tangible impact of surgery. For me, it is not just about a procedure. It's about seeing a problem and finding a direct, definitive solution to elevate suffering and save a life. Surgery embodies a powerful combination of intellectual and practical action. I wanted to be in a position where my skills and my decision could be directly and immediately change some person's life for the better. It was my motivation.
It's one thing good about surgery is the impact of our actions. They are so fast, we can see that. It's exciting. And you, Dr. Shanti, why did you want to become a surgeon?
Yeah, similar to the story that Dr. Popova shared, I also had a very early impact watching my mom serve the people in a very small town. She is an obstetrics and gynecology practitioner and did surgeries in her small hospital that she had. And I could see the impact that she had on people and what it means to serve in a local community that didn't have as many facilities. And so growing up watching her service to the community and the impact she made really was one of the major reasons why I chose to become a physician, but more importantly, a surgeon. And I'm absolutely happy that I made that decision is because I can't imagine doing anything else but being a surgeon.
Yeah, great. For me, there is no familiar reason. I don't have any doctors in my family. I choose to go to medicine because of a call of my heart. I would like to make an impact in the community where I live. And I think that probably it is the reason for me to come to Amazonia, where I am the only one taking care of about 1 million people, and 1/3 of them are under 15 years old. And for me, surgeon, it was a love at first sight. The first time that I saw an open abdomen with the gut and the blood and all moving, I thought that it was the most impactful vision of my life. And I said, oh, I cannot live without seeing that, without participating on that. And it's good because you have the opportunity to act as your judgment asks to, yes, as your judgment send you to do that, and you can see the impact of your work. For me, I don't have patients. I have a lot of students here and a lot of residents, and some of them are always participating in our webinar. And I like to say that I don't have so much patience. So when you are a physician, you give them a medicine and then you wait for 3 months, 4 months for it to start to work. And I cannot have this patient to wait all that time. So I think it's so rewardful, and we feel ourselves. For me, it's a mission, and to be able. And I think that one thing that for the woman they are also good because we have a big ability with our hands. It's just like a handicraft, so we can put our perfectionism in that. And but it's a pleasure, and I think that's why we are here, and that's why we are happy and inspiring the new generations. And why do you think that women should become surgeons? What's our idea?
I think
Uh,
sorry, Dr. Papua, you could go ahead.
Thank you. I think so. Women should not only become surgeons; they should become whatever they want to be, realizing their dreams. There's not worse and better than being an artist and a pilot and a housewife. It's simply one of the options that should be equally accessible to everyone. Women should become surgeons because it brings greater value and opportunities to surgery, in this case, that even to women themselves. Women should become surgeons because our diverse perspectives and unique skills are vital for the professional evolution. Female surgeons often bring a high level of empathy and a collaborative approach to their practice, which enrich the entry team and improves patient care. The field needs more women to break traditional barriers and serve as a powerful role models for the next generation. It's about building a more resilient, compassionate, and effective surgical community. Thank you.
I think those are great points, Dr. Popova. When I think about as to why women should become a surgeon, right? Why should they consider the field of surgery? The first and the most important thing is that if that is what they are calling is, and they feel so connected, like Dr. Lage, you mentioned that you fell in love with the scene of gut and blood. If it calls you, become one, because you will be great at what you do and you will serve everyone that's around you, your patients, your students, your family, your community, and so on. So never shy away from becoming a surgeon just because there is a stereotype and a myth associated with what it means to be a surgeon. I often get asked, why did you become a surgeon? Just the question that we started with. But then more importantly, how challenging was it? Right? And we, as surgeon leaders, have to really demystify the concerns about becoming a surgeon, is because women have a lot to contribute when they become surgeon. Some of which was touched on is one, bringing the diverse perspectives to the table and giving a different kind of view about what it means to be a surgeon. But when it comes to educating our next generation versus how we care for patients, how we communicate our own thoughts in a setting, in a big multidisciplinary setting, is very different. And I think that adds more color and beauty to our field also, right? And I think women should strongly consider becoming surgeons if that is their calling. And I think they would benefit from it and their life will be richer because they made the right choice.
Yes, that's it. We have the call. We have everyone has his call, and whether we are a woman or a woman, if your heart is calling for that, I think that we must follow this pathway. This is the pathway of happiness. And I loved the idea of the diverse of visions about the patient. I think that we has more empathy, as Dr. Popova said, and we are more care about the patient, maybe not in a different way. Men, they are important, they do a lot of stuff, but we can complement their vision of the patient and their vision of medicine because of our way to think, and more empathy. I think that we are more empathic, and we are I have read research from Canada that said that we are more worried to make mistakes, maybe because we have to prove the society that we deserve to be in that position. No, when we choose surgery, we go against the society voice and against everyone told you, oh, don't do it that way. This is not for women. You are not going to have a family. You are not going to have health. You are going to suffer all your life long. And I don't suffer, and I don't think that it look like there you are suffering with that. Otherwise, we are really happy and we are rewarded, and I think that we find our way. And there is a student of mine that is Maria Lua, and she said that it's good for a patient when you bring some of the empathy of woman taking care of the patient. So I think that it's amazing, and especially for the young students and for the graduates that or residents that are watching this webinar. Don't let the society tell you that you are not able to do that, or you are not going to have a family. I have a family, I have 2 kids, I get them at school, I take them at school, and I think that you are able to be happy and to be a surgeon and to be a leader and to do whatever you want to. And I think that's it's a strong message that I would like to let for the new generation.
Dr. Lage, just to add to what you had presented, I think it is important for students to really have good conversation with surgeons who are doing this well, to learn from their own experiences rather than from non-surgeons giving them advice not to choose surgery. Yes, because only we who are active surgeons can explain to them what it means to be a surgeon, what are the impacts on our lifestyle, or how do we manage our lifestyle, the integration of our life and work, which would be far more useful for them in terms of affirming their selection rather than discouraging them from considering surgery because they are getting input from somebody else who are not surgeons.
And now I have one more question for you. Were there any individuals in medicine and surgery who inspired you in your career? What are your inspirations in this?
Thank you for question. It's really good. It's awesome because it's really important to have some example, have some start that you can see and go. I would like to thank 3 surgeons, female surgeons, whose example have impressed me the most. The first is Olga Prokopchuk, my compatriot, Ukrainian lady, who now lives in Germany. In 2010, she came to us from Germany as a representative of European digestive surgery for a surgical tournament that we held at the university in Dnipro for students from all over Ukraine. She was very kind to support young surgeons in Ukraine and help us create a community. That was probably a first time that I saw a real example of female leadership in surgery that inspired me. And the second example is Isabella Friggero, head of Italian Association Women in Surgery Italia. When full-scale work started in Ukraine, she was the first person who offered me help. And she was ready to take me and my child to safe place and assist us. Also, I decided to stay in Ukraine, but I was deeply touched by her offer. Isabella became a true example of support and compassion for me, which is the foundation of the leadership. Another person is Roxlana Khorbova. It's not only a part of American College of Surgeons, the Ukrainian Medical Association of North America, and the National Association of Emergency Medical Technicians, but she also is a part of Ukrainian diaspora in America. When I become a part of become a fellow of American College of Surgery, in 2023, I was supposed to attend a convocation ceremony, but I didn't have the opportunity to do it because it was in Boston, which was very far away and expensive for a surgeon from Ukraine. And she supported me and not only gave me the opportunity to believe in myself and take another step forward, but also opened a new chapter in development in cooperation between America and Ukraine. I think so. It's true. Thank you, Mrs. Horbova, Roxolana, for your support. I know you are here. You are this webinar in the pool, and I hope we will continue our collaboration, and you will have possibility to continue your work, your great work, not only in Ukraine and America too. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Popova. My early inspiration is my mother. Unquestionably, her impact, her commitment really inspired me, and she still continues to inspire me because she's such a strong woman. She's the first of everything in her family. She's the first graduate, first doctor, and so on. So she's broken a lot of barriers to be where she needed to be. The second, during my training, and this is when I became a surgical resident in the US. I came from India to the US and started my surgical training. There were two surgeons that made a big impact in my development as a surgeon. One is Dr. Alicia Moore. She's a trauma surgeon, just absolutely phenomenal in every aspect. Her knowledge, her competence in managing stressful kind of surgeries, and as to how calm and composed she was and still able to teach us despite trauma emergencies, and we often had penetrating injuries in the place I trained. Her composure and confidence in her skills inspired me, and I was like, I want to be like her. When I grow up to be a surgeon, I want to have that level of confidence and composure and the calm, deliberate calm that is being exercised by a surgeon. So that was amazing for me. The second is a surgical oncologist, Dr. Larry Harrison, who had this incredible connection with his patients. And his patients just loved him. And his knowledge base, his operative skills, but more importantly, his interpersonal relationship with his patients were admirable. And that's why I chose surgical oncology. I chose what kind of a surgeon I want to be as a female surgeon by Dr. Moore, inspired by Dr. Moore. But the connection that I saw with the patients is why I chose surgical oncologists. I think these two surgeons during my surgical residency had shaped as to what I want to become and what I would inspire to be when I am a faculty.
Amazing stories, amazing stories. You see that how it's important to have a model of a woman surgery, a woman surgeon that comes before us, and for us to be able to see her and to able, oh, I can do that because she have made that, so I can do that too. It's only to dedicate myself, but I can do that. And I think that's important to have this first woman that showed this. For me, it was, I have just one female surgeon professor at the university. She was not professor. All the professors, they are men. There's only one woman surgeon at my university, and it was a big university with an enormous hospital and only one, but she was not that accessible. Now she's my friend, but in that time she was fighting against all the males to show that she deserves to be there. It's Dr. Elizabeth Santos. One during my residence, that's Dr. Cristina Maia, that probably is watching us too. And she was the one that showed me that you can be a surgeon and you can remain being a woman with woman things and talking about family and talking about normal life and also be a woman. She's a trauma surgeon. She's amazing. She's an inspiration for, I think, that 3 generations here. We have Dr. Angelita Harp Gama. That's the first female surgeon from Brazil. She was the one that opened the ways. But I must thanks so much for Dr. Alberto Peña. That's a pediatric surgeon. He is from Mexico, but he works in the United States for more than 45 years. And for me, this is the same that Dr. Shantu said, the way that he treats his patients, the way that he gets involved, and the way that he's loved by all the patients, and he develops the surgery, and he has the same, and he is very, very good in the relation with patients and relation with young surgeons, and telling about his stories and telling that it's possible for everyone who is committed to be a good surgeon. I think that because sometimes I think, no, it's only the special ones, it's only the ones that has all the family of surgeons, and you are not going to be in that place of leadership. Other, if you don't have a family, if you don't have, I like to see that's a pedigree, just like dogs. You must have a pedigree to be understood as a surgeon. And he showed me, no, that everyone could be that. And he showed me the importance of my work here at Amazonia, because I didn't get the impact of my work. I was doing that, but I have never saw it from away from my role. And he showed me that. And thank you, Dr. Roberto Peña. You are my idol. You and Dr. Patricia Newman. That I don't know if you had if you have the opportunity. Dr. Patricia Newman was my mentor when I was awarded by ACS in 2018, and she's my friend, and I'm so happy. And every time that I speak with her and that I am with her, I got inspired to be. And so she is my inspiration to be a leader in medicine, to be a leader in surgery, because she has the same way to talk with you as you are a friend, and to show you. I think that a great mentor, he shows you your potential, and without them, we could not be here. Without their support, anyone can live, and no one can live alone. We must have that connections, and we must support each others, and even in different places, and even in different countries, we must support each others, to have the opportunity to show all of our potential. And it's amazing to listen to all these stories. And do you want to add something on that, or I can go to? Okay, I will go to another question. What should people know about the impact women in surgery have in your country?
I'm from Ukraine, and as you know, we have war in Ukraine now. So in Ukraine, women in surgery are on the front lines, both literally and figuratively. They are saving lives under extreme condition, including combat zone. Women surgeons here are not just practitioners, they are pioneers and innovators. They are developing and implementing new protocols like our FAST-U protocol, FAST-U Ukrainian and Trident protocol. The most part of my research group about combat trauma, it's women. This protocol has been shown the reduce of mortality, significant mortality for injured with abdominal trauma. And our work is about resilience, about courage and deep-seated commitment to our nation and our people.
Dr. Papua, I'm truly inspired. The service that you're offering and the women in your country who are offering to the people is just incredible. The courage that is shown is inspiring, and it is amazing, amazing. And I think that we have to all take an example of what is being done collectively to say how much power and strength do we have collectively as women in surgery. I think it's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And you're amazing. You're inspiring. Thank you for all that you do at this hard times in your country. For me, when I think about women in surgery, particularly in my country, there is still a lot of barriers that needs to be broken. One is the gender stereotype. Gender has nothing to do with a surgeon's skills. But however, there is still that barrier that we need to break through to be able to have more women surgeons in my country. And I think it is the social expectation on women in terms of our responsibilities as the primary caregivers of our family, the other barriers that exist in a professional setting for us to break through those barriers and be recognized as surgeons and surgeon leaders. There is a lot of work that needs to be done. And I think these are some of the examples where it would help people to see what can be achieved. I am from India, I trained in India, but I do think that we have that responsibility to be able to show you don't have to confine yourself to the social expectations and boundaries that has been set for us. I do think in my country there has been progress that is being made in terms of more women going into surgery, but the challenges are enormous. So you're always going against a headwind, like throughout your life. And I think that needs to change. And we need to have allyship with our male surgeons to really emphasize the importance of having a diverse group of surgeons to serve the needs of our people and have that rich perspective, that addition of meaning by different groups and representation by different groups are essential for us to advance. And I think that's where a lot of work needs to be done is in terms of creating those male sponsors and having allies within our male surgical group also to break away from some of the barriers in my country. And there is quite a bit of work that needs to be done.
It's amazing to hear, to listen to your stories, and especially Dr. Popova that is doing the award and doing this, so it makes a big difference in the current daily, and you are a hero to be there and to have the courage to face that, because it's not easy. And I like to understand the woman as a powerful workforce. So we are a workforce. When here in Brazil we don't have war, but we have a huge country with few doctors, and you need this work to be done everywhere. So here at Western Amazonia, I am the only pediatric surgeon. If it was not me, there will be no other pediatric surgeons. We have one excellent vascular surgeon, Dr. Angela, and without her, and she was the one that takes care of the emergency room, and without her, how many people would die or would lose their members and their limbs? And so we are a powerful workforce, especially in places where we don't have so many people doing that, where we have few doctors. So I think that we can be strategical. I don't like that word, but we can be strategical. We use it to fill the gaps in the health system, and we can be really useful for the community and for our society. And I think that this is one of the strong message that I would like to let in this webinar, that we can be really useful and we can serve our population and our country and even in other places. So there is some traveling surgeons that goes to Ukraine now during the war, and women can do that too. We are able to do that too. And now it's time for us to go to the question and answers. We are going to the question and answers parts of this webinar. So we are accepting questions for the audience. Please, you that are watching us, you can send your question by our box Q&A, and you can submit this question. And we are going to start now with one question from the audience. Have you ever had to advocate for yourself in the OR or in leadership settings? What did it look like?
Of course, you know, that is definitely something that we have to model both as surgeon leaders and teach our students as to how to stand up for yourself, right? And even small aspects of how we lead the operating room, sometimes you do have to advocate for yourself when you are bringing up issues in the operating room. That's a small setting, but you're still leading the operating room, and you do expect a certain level of hierarchical respect of commands as they come, is because you're leading a very tight ship there. So in my situations where you are expecting that communication, there is some microaggressions that happen in the OR. And I'm sure we all experience it, right? What I can say or how I ask might be slightly different from what they are willing to accept from my male counterparts. And I have to establish the tone in the operating room. I come in, I state my expectations very clearly, and I expect my team to be aligned with what we are planning on doing that day. And advocating for myself is I do have some expectations. It's just clearly stating your expectations ahead of time as to how the conduct of the operation is going to happen today, and making sure my team is aligned so that I don't have to deal with microaggressions when I am asking for certain things. In leadership settings, though, it's different, right? In leadership settings, you have to understand what battles to pick so that your points are well heard. And one of the things we have to learn as women is to stand up for the important issues. And knowing what the important issues are, advocating for our other female surgeons who are not in the room is one thing I actually stand up for, right? Is constantly advocating for women so that they also have equal opportunities and get more opportunities to even the leadership roles that are being discussed in a room is important. And I have had to do that many times, but doing it in a way that is extremely professional, respectful, and provides the context of why you are advocating has been an important aspect of how you stand up in these settings. And being thoughtful is because we are breaking away from a stereotype. And it is important to have our style of leadership where we are able to listen, but still be able to clearly communicate why we are saying what we are saying and why is it important. I have to do that many, many times.
Thank you. It's so inspired. It's so interesting. It's a great, and I think it's a very useful experience for young surgeons, young female surgeons who want to become the profession. And advocating for myself has been a constant part of my career too. It often involves politely but firmly asserting my professional opinion, backed by evidence and backed by experience, especially when we was introducing a new ideas or new protocols, such our fast due protocol. In operation room, it means clearly and confidently communicating about my plan to the team, ensuring everyone is aligned. In leadership settings. It has meant presenting our work and our mission with conviction. And in leadership settings, very important is communities, the people who can share your victories and share your problem, people who can support you. And I'd like to say thank you for advocacy, because you can't advocacy you yourself only your own stretch, your own efforts. You need a community. You will support other people and other people will support you. And I'd like to say thank you. The first one, the NGO Alien Training Center, and all my team, all our students. Now we bring together near 5,000 doctors, nurses, combat medics, and all who need trainings, all who need support. And this is a great advocacy. The second one is the charity foundation, Razum for Ukraine. This is American charity foundation based in America, but it's a great example for support of people, for support from medical community and non-medical community, and their impact is really great in their all areas in medicine and combat medicine and support of Ukrainian medical community. And the third, but very important for me, is the American College of Surgery, because when I become a part of ACS, it was a great support for me as a professional. I can do it. I can be a part of ACS, and I am first Ukrainian surgeon who become to ACS, and I think so. It's a very good sign for Ukrainian medicine because we have a lot of women in medicine, in surgery too, and it's a good example for us. I can do it and you can do it too. You can bring the ICS, you can be a part of community, and you can receive a support and advocacy yourself.
Thank you for sharing this. I loved that. I love the way that Dr. Shentil prepared the two ways of advocate, one in the OR and other in the leadership. And then the leadership, it's much more difficult for us when we have to navigate in an easy way. Now we have a question from Dr. Nabila Talata, professor and chair of pediatric surgery at the University of Child Health Science, the Children's Hospital, Lahore, Pakistan. My question is, what's your experience in gender-based discrimination towards senior leadership position? And second, so what's your experience in gender-based discrimination towards senior leadership position? And what's your strategy for workplace harassment?
I mean, those are very important questions. And I think many of the people who are listening to this webinar or currently participating right now in the live session can relate and can relate to their own situation right now in many institutions, right? When we think about leadership, advancing women in leadership requires sponsorship, right? And we, as women, have to be committed to sponsor women leaders and continuously think about it intentionally, sponsoring women as leaders. There are challenges and barriers for women to ascend in high-level leadership positions. We see the statistics, right? The number of, I'm going to use US as an example, the number of women who are deans or the number of women who are surgical chairs is much lower than what we see males holding these positions. Again, it shows the gulf between who holds the leadership positions, and this has historically been the case. We are slowly breaking through it, but there is still headwinds that we have to face. But we can lessen that by making sure that if we are in a leadership position to advocate and sponsor women into leadership roles, highly qualified women, and we are not talking about advocating without qualifications. What we are talking about, there are plenty of women who have incredible qualifications and who duly deserve that leadership role, but they need sponsors to advocate for them, be in the room, push them through that barrier, right? They need that extra help. So I am acknowledging that there are barriers for women to ascend in leadership position, but I'm also imploring all of us at any level, we can be a great sponsor for another woman to achieve leadership positions. The second question about harassment, right? And that is a culture change that needs to happen, is normalization of certain comments in many culture is there, because there are many misogynistic comments that gets said around us, and it stings you but it is almost felt like it is normal. I mean, what's wrong with saying any of it, right? And we feel that. And in order for us to address that, that's a big issue overall. So the harassments can range from microaggressions, overt offensive comments to actual harassment. So there are many levels. This is institutional culture, but more importantly, as women, we have to stand up for ourselves. And we have to call out people when some comments are inappropriate in the most respectful manner. I feel when you say that, it insinuates that I'm inadequate or I'm out of place when in the world of surgery. Is that what you meant? Because that is how I received it. Is that what you really meant? Right? Having the ability to question and breaking away from normalization of microaggressive behavior is something that we need to be doing right now. And of course, with high level harassment is engaging with your network, with people, with your own institutional leadership are important, and being careful in terms of navigating as to how you will bring that case up is extremely important. But the harassments happen on a day-to-day level. And we need to also stand up for other women who are experiencing it. And if you're in that place, stand up, speak up. Support other women who are experiencing harassment or that microaggression. Do not let it go. Do not be silent. It is difficult to stand up, but that is what we are being asked of, to change the culture that we are in. And we have to be committed collectively as women. We have to be committed to call out these kind of harassing comments.
Perfect, Dr. Shanto. I think that's the idea. We cannot listen to that comment. We cannot listen to it and to stay in silence. They are wrong. We are not wrong to be there. They are wrong to make this kind of inappropriate comment, and they must feel harassed. They must feel uncomfortable for that, and not us. We are right. And I think that we cannot leave that pass. And I understand that in Pakistan, just like in Brazil, probably Dr. Talat, may be one of the pioneers. And the pioneers don't have so much senior surgeons to sponsor, so we must open the way, but we can support the new generation, and we cannot let them say that thing without being comfortable then. And Dr. Popova, do you want to add something?
Of course. I have a short marks. The first one about discrimination. The most powerful advice to discrimination is community. If you have their own community, if you have the other people who will support you, and you can share your problem, it will be a better response to discrimination on your workplace. For example, if you are not only one women surgeon in your hospital, for example, you can bring other women, other, not only surgeon, it can be traumatologists, it can be nurses, and you can share your problems, and you can take in some advices, and you can talk about some problem. And if you not only one person, it's difficult to provide any bad things to you. And about harassment, I will support the Dr. Senchil, because we have not to be silent. You have to talk. You have to stand up and speak about this problem, because all evil, all bad things are in silence. Because when we don't talk about it, don't pay attention or community to this problem, we don't have a solution for this problem. So it was very good and very important point, but difficult. But sometimes it's really difficult to speak about it, to talk about it to other people, but it's absolutely necessary.
I know that we are in about the end of our webinar, but Dr. Mugodo was able to join us. Dr. Mugodo is our third panelist. She was not able to be here since the start because she has an emergency case and she must go to the OR, but I would like to introduce her. Dr. Mugodo is a young orthopedic and spine surgeon from Zimbabwe. She did her undergraduate training at the University of Zimbabwe and went to specialize in orthopedics and trauma surgery with the College of Surgeons East, Central, and Southern Africa, COSEXA, after completing her internship. Dr. Mugoro got the opportunity to do a spine surgery fellowship and diploma afterwards. Currently, she is a consultant in the Department of Surgery of Parirenayata Group of Hospital in Harare. She also holds a position of clinical management for Zimbabwe's Sustainable Clubfoot Program, which is an organization that supports the treatment of children born with clubfoot. It's a pleasure to be with you in this ending of the webinar. I don't know if you want to say some words for us. We would do. Yes. There is one last question that I would like to ask you, and I think that it will be the last question. That's from Dr. Just a moment. Yes, here. Yes, it's anonymous question, and it's thank you for all your inspiration and advice in the face of low resource and extreme environments. And I think that Dr. Papova and Dr. Mugodo and me myself that are in different settings would be used to that conditions. How have you adapted or innovate traditional medical practices to meet the unique challenges you encounter? I will ask it again. In face of low resources and extreme environments, how have you adapted or innovate traditional medical practices to meet the unique challenges you encounter in your daily practice?
I have two advices for such condition for this situation. The first advice, pay attention to the different grant programs, like a travel grant, like a fellowship. It's a very good possibility to be a part of community, to share your own experience and to see the innovative technology, to have a new experience and have a new communication and networking. And the second one, pay attention to your own experience and share it with the conference. For example, FAST-2 protocol, it's for ultrasound in facilities when we are not able to use the CT scan for abdominal trauma, but we have to make a decision about colon injury, the large bowel injury. And it's a very easy ultrasound scenes for make this diagnosis. It is useful for white auditorium or no? I have heard before that it's only for Ukraine, but when I bring this research to the big international auditorium, I received a lot of different answers and feedback and implementation of this protocol in USA too, because USA has low-cost facilities. We have a combat trauma, we have different other trauma like a blunt trauma, and you experience achieved in low-cost facilities or difficult situations or environment can be useful to other people. So don't be silent. Told, bring it to the big conference, bring it to the international auditorium and share it, and you will receive the support to other people.
Dr. Mugoro wants to answer that question.
Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Apologies, I had to join very late. I was in an emergency surgery that I was doing. Apologies for that. So as for the question, coming from a resource limited setting, sometimes you face many challenges that you don't have things to use, and patients also, they can't afford the necessary investigations that you would like to use at times. So you find yourself compromising a lot, but you're faced with the patient and you really want to help the patient. So you have to improvise a lot, but it really makes a difference, because right now I have sort of been in a lot of groups, networking. We have Women in Surgery Africa. There's a lot of mentorship going on there. So when I'm faced with complicated cases, it's easy for me to just reach out to my mentor from a country where there is also limited resources and just ask them how you would tackle the situation. Then usually it just works out.
Thank you. I think that you must be creative and innovative and brave to be in that place. And usually, when you do things, when you have the background of the science and you have good intentions and you can adapt to what you have, and it's been 20 years since I've started to do it here at Amazonia, and I'm able to do a lot of stuff. And usually, with a syringe, a drap, and good motivation, you can do a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, we
Yes.
are we are in the end of our webinar. We have more 4 minutes to end it. It's a shame because we have excellent questions here, but we are going to send you the answer. We are going to type the answer to you. And I would like to ask you for concluding statement. And I think that's a pleasure to be here and to discuss the role of woman in the surgical set. And I think that one of the take home messages for me is that support your peers, support other women, sponsor them, because it's not easy. If you are here, it is because there are other pioneers that come before us. And maybe at Pakistan, our friend Tabana must be the first one, but we must support the new generation. And in that way, supporting and not accepting inappropriate statements. I think that's the way for us to get all the women having success in this career. And it was such a pleasure to be here with you today. I hope to see you at ACS Congress next month. It will be in 2 weeks at Chicago. It would be great. And thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for the audience to be here with us today discussing this point. And it's a pleasure to be here representing the International Relations Committee. Thank you. And please, I ask for your final comments.
Yeah, I can start. I think for women, the most important things that I would give for them to consider are: believe that you belong. If you choose to become surgeon, you absolutely belong in the surgical community. You have nothing to prove. Don't put that burden on yourself. Over and over again, it is draining, it's exhausting when you have to show up to say, I have to prove something, I have to be better than. You have nothing to prove, just be you. And second, practice self-compassion and grace. Women tend to be overly critical of their mistakes and performance and often create this perpetual cycle of self-doubt and the imposter syndrome. Show compassion. We can all improve. Everybody makes mistakes. Know that no one is perfect, and perfection should not be what you aspire to. Being better than what you were yesterday is what you're aspiring for, and have compassion when you slip or make mistakes. It's okay. You will get better. Right? And finally, be a great sponsor to other women. Be good in your advocacy and be strong in why you're advocating for another woman. right? And that is my closing comments. And that is what I choose to do every day, is to show compassion to myself, is because I want to be first respectful of my efforts, how hard I am working, and I don't want to be my own harsh critic.
Thank you. Thank you for so sincerely. It's a really warm meeting, and I think so important for all of us. And I think so. But a piece of advice will be: don't be afraid to innovate, and also build your network. Your colleagues, your mentors are your greatest support system. Seek out those who believe in you and are willing to share their knowledge and experience. Your success is in shared victory. And leadership is not just about the title, it's about making a positive impact. To become a leader, you need to have your own vision for tomorrow's surgery, and you want to do it better than today. And I think so, all of us, every person present here can do and I think so we can to support each other on this way.
So my closing remarks to the young ones who are listening is to say, follow your dream, follow your goals. If you want to achieve something, just follow it. And when you face any obstacle, don't hesitate to ask and find mentorship and someone who will guide you, who have walked the same path. And don't be someone else. Just be yourself. Keep it real, and be yourself. Don't overstretch yourself, otherwise you won't survive.
Thank you all. Now I will turn it over to Jessie, to our final announcements. Thank you all for your participation.
Thank you,
Jessie?
everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Lage and Dr. Popova, Senthil, and Mugoto for sharing your wisdom and joining us on today's webinar. For everyone else, as mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, this conversation has been recorded and we'll be posting it to the ACS YouTube page. You can also view all of our past webinars on the ACS YouTube page under the Global Surgery playlist. Additionally, I wanted to highlight that this year, residents can become members of the American College of Surgeons for free and take advantage of all the resources that ACS has to offer. Lastly, if you have any questions or feedback on this presentation, you can contact me or any of the other IRC staff. Our information is on the screen. With that, I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.